guys. Before we go any further, let me wish you a wonderful day. Got my coffee. Perfect. A little shaky, just got done doing my workout. Cranked out a bunch of push-ups, did some planks. And so the end is the end. Obviously, I said that from fat to fit after 50 has been accomplished. I show you how in my videos. Again, channel's taking a new direction. And today, I'm going to take to task some of the allopathics. An allopathic doctor is the one that you're always used to seeing on TV and everyone telling you to take a bunch of medicines. Okay, I'm not poo-pooing all of them. I'm going to poo-poo probably a few of them, and if you have an allopathic doctor that you know, and he happens to be an otorhinolaryngologist, oto guy, oto ear, rhino nose, and larynx for obviously the throat, so ear, nose, and throat, ENT. You might want to send this to him because he may not know, and I'm praying that the oto that we saw didn't know. So I live in Mexico, and healthcare is really, really good. Just trust me. But it's really, really expensive if you don't have insurance and you're not on their federal IMSS program. So I'm going to give you the idea of how much medical care costs based on my rent. So I pay around $4,500 a month. And so the visit was $800. So that means about 20% of my rent just to go see this guy. My wife had some vertigo. I know it was vertigo because the day she got sick, that is, she rolled over and whoo, the world started spinning, right? That's almost a dead giveaway right there, but let's continue. We had the good fortune of having a great friend over here from the state of Hidalgo. She lives in a little town up on, and she is a diabetic, so she had her glucose monitor. So I took Isabel's glucose, and it was 90. Wonderful, fasted. I think she had eaten at least 14 or so hours before, so I wanted to make sure this wasn't a glucose problem, which I didn't think it would be because she's never exhibited this before, although she has had some autoimmune disorders. And well, those are all fixed, obviously, and no thank you to the allopathics who didn't help us, not in the least. Sadly, again, sorry. I don't trust you guys after March 2020, okay? Never again, but that's okay. The world needs heart surgeons too, right? Okay, so they also need ditch diggers. Well, anyway, that having been said, so we also had a blood pressure cuff, and I took her blood pressure, and her blood pressure has always been a little low, and today's no different. This day was no different. I think she was 90 something over, I think 50, but shoot, I'm an 85 to 88 kilogram male, quite large actually, and I stand 1.78 meters. That's not that tall, but kind of bulky. And my blood pressure's typically 95 to 100 over 55 to 60. Any given day, any given time, I just kind of sit down for a while, plop the cuff on and go, okay. And they normally read high. So now we're not dealing with a blood pressure problem. And I didn't dare sit her up and stand her up to test for adrenal weakness, but I don't think that was the issue here. I mean, we can run that later. But so anyway, so we make an appointment with this doc, and he does the mechanical outer ear check. Fine. No cerumen or wax, no problems with the tympanum, no issues, no perforations, no bulging. Otitis media would give you like a red bulge. You would be able to see the infection. No infection. Okay. Here's where I have a problem. So what does he do? Oh, here's a script for a OTONEUROLOGICal exam. Okay. He wants to jump right into the nerves. But that's a 2,500 peso procedure. That's half my rent, friends. Now, 25 plus 8, all right, if my math is pretty good, we're up to 3,200 pesos Now, we haven't gone yet, but my wife wants it. So I learned a great Latin phrase, which I haven't memorized yet, but essentially it says there's no accounting for tastes. All right, so she wants to do it, I guess, to rule it out, get it over with, and I guess contrary to make sure that my diagnosis was the correct one. It's an expensive way to do it. And here's where I want to challenge the ENT docs. Hey, friends, why don't you double check BPPV, which is benign, which means happy, paroxysmal, if I remember the word. Again, I don't get into all the medical stuff, but I do like etymologies. Paroxysmal means acute onset. Positional, that's an easy word. And then vertigo. Vertis, from vert, to change, to swing around. So essentially it means a rather happy, quick onset problem with turning your head. Well, a 2-minute internet search on this idea, which afflicts 80% of all the people who suffer and or complain of vertigo, was solved by simply turning your head back a couple of seconds, and you're on your knees, you're bending all the way over, and you're kind of tucking your head slightly underneath, and you hold it till you stop being dizzy, or for 30 seconds, whichever comes first. Then you turn your head, while you're on your head, okay, you pivot it to the side that you think is the side that's giving you the problem. I'll explain that in a minute. And hold that for either 30 seconds or until the dizziness stops, and then you lift till you're parallel to the deck. There's plenty of videos on this, you can look it up. Same thing, 30 seconds, and then keeping your head that way, you sit upright again. And if that hasn't fixed it, you can repeat the procedure, giving 15 to 20 minutes, waiting for the little circles in your ears to calm down, all right? It's interesting. It's what we use in machines today for leveling. You have a circle this way, which pitch. You have a circle this way, which is, turning side. There's a circle this way, turning side to side, and a circle this way, which will deal with your pivot. So you have pivot, pitch, and yaw. All right. Well, you have 3 circles in your ears which do just that, and they send signals to your brain. And it's caused by calcium pieces, almost like the grounds of my coffee. They kind of settle overnight if you're sleeping in one place, and when you turn, they plug and they don't move, and they don't allow the circulation. So your brain feels movement in maybe some of the other circles. Your eyes, seasickness can be done this way. I mean, you're in a closed space, and the space, your ears are moving, but your eyes are not registering it, and the brain has a problem, and nausea, headache, even some violent sweating, vomiting. The thing to do if you're on a boat, you just find a portal, look out, and just look out into the world. Now you'll feel it in your legs, and your brain will be able to manage that. You don't need drugs or Dramamine, because you will get used to it unless you take drugs or Dramamine, and then, well, you'll never get used to it, but that's up to you. So all I'm saying is this procedure was cheap, didn't have to go anywhere, didn't have to spend an hour and a half, because I've looked these things up. These otoneuro exams will run about an hour and a half. They're going to check her pitch, they're going to do her thing, they're going to give her some physical stuff to do to make sure. And what they're trying to do is eliminate a possible neurological problem, right? Let's just cut there real quick. What if it is neurological? You got 2 choices: nothing and surgery, if it's something. And it turns out that this type of vertigo also can be related to an autoimmune dysfunction. And there's plenty of videos on autoimmune. I recommend Dr. Berg to get you started. If you really want to find out how it really works and get into the guts, so to speak, that's a pun, then you'll go to Dr. Ekberg, because he will spend half an hour explaining exactly what happens, why it happens. Berg gives you the rough overview, love it. Concise, gets to the point, does his thing, mentions a few things, and then you go off on your own and you do this. Guys, this is the era of starting to kind of look this stuff up for yourself. I'm so sorry. There was really no need right away to just go ahead and, just pull the cannon. All right. There was a little rifle that you could use first, and that would have been this little, just double check and make sure it's not BPPV. All right. Just make sure that it's not something that 80% of all vertigo people can fix in their own home and quite quickly. All right. No medicines, no visits to a doctor, no special equipment. All right. I am hoping and praying that this doc was just ignorant of this little procedure, and when we see him again, I'm going to suggest it. Regardless, no matter what this exam reveals, and then I guess my wife is even going to find out. Look, if the results come back negative, and we can look all that up ourselves, just like any doc can. Maybe we won't even need to have a follow-up appointment because she will have already been healed by this procedure that we've done. So maybe she wants to rule it out. I know the kids still get on her case. Oh, you know what? Kind of sort of, Dad's not a doctor. And yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. But I can look up stuff just like the next guy. I do have a rack of books, all in medicine. And essentially it's mostly how to treat yourself. And, obviously I can't do surgeries because I don't have practice doing surgeries, all right? I was in the military, so I guess if you need somebody, removed from the earth or whatever, call me up. I'm a pretty good shot, even today, even though I haven't practiced lately, but, it's like riding a bike. I'm also a concert pianist, so I have expertise in certain areas, not that one. And I'm not criticizing that. You guys are awesome. You especially if you're doing a surgery or something. Wow. Namaste, man. You know what I'm saying? But just right away pushing somebody for a 2,500 peso exam when other remedies might be possible are kind of really cool, because I'm thinking, if it worked, then you really don't need the other exams, right? Now, if it doesn't work, let's go ahead and do that. No rush, man. All right? As a matter of fact, we just don't have the money for it, so she's not going to be able to do anything for the next 2 weeks anyway. So, obviously, this wasn't a dire need. So, like I said, guys, you're going to have to take care of your own health. You're going to have to do your own thing, all right? I'm going to look up the darn phrase, then I'll let you read it, because I did have it on my phone. So let me pull it up here, because I thought it was really cool. Funny, I didn't. Yes, I did. All right, I'm going to let you read it. All right. Yes. All right, I'll read it with you. Degustibus non disputandum est. So quite literally it means Degustibus, of tastes, non is no, and disputandum is argument, est is. So there is no arguing about tastes. There is no arguing other people's whims, capriciousness. Some people like pizza, some people don't like tomatoes, some people like the color purple, some people like the color blue. You can't argue that, right? So in this case, this is the same thing. I can't argue with you on what you should do or how you should do it. I'm just letting you know that if you continue to trust these people and you're not getting any better, well, again, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're always going to get what you always got. You're going to have to make a change, guys. And I'm out here trying to get you to change. I'm not poo-pooing people. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just some dude who changed his diet and lost 42 kilos, and blood work looks better than all the docs and nutritionists I personally know. And I know personally a lot of them. And I'm healthier than they are, according to their own metrics. Circular argument? Interesting irony? I don't know. So anyway, guys, take care, and I will leave you as I found you with my delicious cup of coffee in my mouth. And anyway, you guys be well.